This is Kevin Hall, Coldwell Banker, Stephanie Salerno team. I'm here with Brad, the mortgage guy, at 135 Mountain Laurel in Suffield, Connecticut. We gotta take a look around.
All right, so first off is that we're in an association here, right? So this isn't a typical condo, though, where they're taking care of the grass and the snow and all that stuff. The owners on this place are responsible for
Snow removal, lawn maintenance.
Okay. All right, so when I'm looking at a house and I'm looking even at condos, I gotta ask those questions, right? Like the exterior of the building, for instance, oftentimes is covered, but in this one,
Freestanding, so roof, siding is all the owner's responsibility.
Okay.
But HOA is cheaper than.
Okay. So that would be probably a good indication if I'm looking online at houses and I see an association fee of, you said, the $65. You know, $65 isn't covering maintenance and all that good, all that good stuff. Okay. So that's a good tip to look at. So let's start aside. Let's just take a walk over and
look at that tree. Japanese maple, I'm pretty sure. Gorgeous.
You're an arborist or something? All right. So we have a single car garage. That's great. Take a look at that from the inside as well. I like that.
It is vinyl siding, so
Okay.
pretty easy maintenance.
Yeah, super easy. Okay, we've got a little, this is a storage shed here? Oh, awesome. Okay, we've got a little storage shed. And then this indicates to us that we've got central AC.
Brand new, too.
Oh, all right, so that's good.
2 years old.
So usually there's dates on these too, right? Like you can kind of look at dates of manufacture. I mean, it looks brand new too, so there. Okay. And then we've got a fenced-in area. So if you've got some animals or children that are also wild animals, whatever, they could run around back here.
Yeah.
I guess that brings up another point. Not all condos allow animals.
That's correct. This one does.
No problems. Okay.
No problems.
All
So
right.
that's great.
And sometimes they have rules about number, and sometimes they have
Size.
rules about size. What kind? You can have a cat but not a dog or whatever. But
No restrictions.
this one wide open. Okay. All right. So something that you've got to check with your agent about when you're looking. It looks like we have like
Little grill area. Okay. There's a little table there.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, let's go around front. All right, Kev. So what are some of the other things you like to point out, like on the outside when we're in the outside stuff?
Yeah, so I usually look at the roof. I'm not an inspector, but I can give you a pretty
You
good
could look
ballpark.
at it though, and you can say that looks like it's good shape. It's not. It's not wavy. It's not got lifted tiles. You don't have to be an inspector to see some of the obvious stuff, right?
Windows, same thing. I don't know the exact age of the windows, but again, they look like they're in great condition.
And the siding does too. It's in pretty good shape. So,
Same with, I usually point out rot. I don't see any signs of anything like that, so.
and it looks pretty well maintained too. I think when you're in these associations too, they want to make sure all the houses in the associations are very well maintained. So, I think everybody's kind of on board as a community to make sure that happens. So,
All right, let's head inside.
nice. A hollowed out front actually for washing your car.
All right, so in the entryway here, got a little coat closet.
I've probably said this before, but I've never heard anybody say there's just too much storage in this house, right?
Sure.
So
This one has a ton of storage.
Yeah, it's
All
great.
closets.
Yeah.
It's great.
And this is awesome. Just this entranceway coming in with this big vaulted ceiling. The higher ceiling just makes everything feel
Bigger.
bigger. Yeah.
Brighter.
Yeah.
Spacious.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about like for heating and stuff, like heating and AC? I mean, does that impact that much, or to have these large, higher ceilings?
It does, but it's a trade-off. It's worth it.
Yeah, and I also see there was fireplace as we come in. So the gas fireplace, this is one thing that not everybody might be familiar with. Like, how's it work? Right? It's a simple switch. That's it. No wood. Flip the switch and the fireplace is gone. So super convenient. We're not bringing in pellets. We're not bringing in wood. We're not doing anything like that.
No lighters, no matches.
Yeah. And I'm seeing down there, for safety reasons, it looks like we have a carbon monoxide detector.
Carbon monoxide.
Be on the safe side.
Yeah.
And I assume a battery backup in there as well. I think I see a green light illuminated, so I'm guessing that's all.
There you go.
Yeah, we're good to go, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I like this. This is super convenient and a lot cleaner. And the floors here look like they're in great shape as well. I feel like you're walking through some houses and you can feel the squishiness. This one feels done. I mean, that's on the inspector's recommendation.
I mean, you could just feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in the kitchen. In the kitchen again, natural gas. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
Cooking with gas is way better than electric. And
Yeah. This is a lot of cabinet space here too.
fun cabinet space, which is awesome.
You're not concerned about space. I get the other thing. Wood seems to be coming back a little bit more. Like natural wood seems to be coming back a little bit more. But obviously there are people who like the lighter kitchens too. I feel like when you're looking at a kitchen, like you look at something like this, these cabinets are in pristine shape. So if you like wood, you could go with it. But if you wanted to paint them,
You could absolutely think.
you can get them sprayed. I've seen that on many houses. I mean, this could be a completely different kitchen for relatively cheap. The important part is it's in really great shape, right? But again, this is kind of coming back. But if you've got different preferences, I think look at what it is. You don't have doors that are crooked. You don't have it's solid.
Solid wood.
Oh, here's something. Hold on. Wait. I don't know if you can feel this in video. Garage. All right, we have an alert system.
The single car garage here.
With entrance right to the kitchen. That's great. Looks like there's extra storage up there. So we have outside access to get out of the house. Electric garage door opener. We can have shelves here. I like that. I mean, this is, the garage door is relatively wide too. But this is great. I mean, to get yourself, especially in the Northeast, to be able to park outside of the elements is, once you park in a garage, it's like, you don't know what you're missing. This room here, a 3-season room. Okay. And why would you consider this a 3-season room as opposed to all 4 seasons?
So there's no heat, there's no electric heat, no natural gas or anything. That's why it's considered 3 seasons.
Yeah.
It's not intended to be used in.
But clearly we have double pane windows. The walls, I imagine, are all insulated.
You could put one of those electric fireplaces out here.
Or even open this door and probably have enough heat in here to have this used year round.
In the springtime, in the summer, you could throw a table in here.
Yeah.
Dinner.
Okay. It's considered 3-season from a real estate and a listening perspective because of the fact that it just doesn't have heat out here in essence.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Although obviously extremely usable, I'm not feeling any variance in temperature in these rooms, at least right now. So. Okay, and something to ask about too, I think, is shades. Like, are these shades coming to this house?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and is that something that, where's that listed? Like, how do I know that as a buyer?
Most houses have inclusions and exclusions, which will specify what will be remaining with the home, what will be taken from the home.
Can they get that right on the consumer sites, or is that something they ask you for?
They ask the realtor.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right, let's take that thing and walk around. All right, as we're coming back to the kitchen, I actually just noticed this here. So, a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
So
garbage disposal, very useful. Underneath here,
so something to look at.
Yep.
So if you haven't had a garbage disposal, they're super convenient. You can just throw stuff in and chops
it right up,
and it goes right down the drain,
right into the sewer.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend one for a house that's up.
Yeah.
But this, you don't have to worry about it.
And inspectors will kind of go through that as well,
Absolutely.
right? They're gonna look at that. If something's on septic and has that, they'll tell you the positives and negatives and all that. All right. Let's take a walk around to this section. And again, from this angle, you gotta look up. And this is just awesome. All right, so more access up here. We've got access to the pad. I'm seeing these detectors around here. Oftentimes, you can see the date at which these were replaced. I think they suggest every 10 years.
I think so.
Okay, lots of them.
Outside of all the bedroom.
Okay, bathroom here. Actually, this looks newer. This bathroom here, relatively newer.
Updated tile. You have a partially tile surrounding the shower. We have a tub.
Yeah, I like light bathrooms like this. From an aesthetics point of view, it just looks great. And we've got a fan in there too, which is great. I can hear it on right now. So again, another thing to look for when you're looking at houses.
Another closet here.
Okay, all right. So storage, we want to point out storage. You're looking throughout, you want to know if there's enough room for all your stuff. Okay.
So you have the vents up there.
Yeah, so this is probably either sucking the air out or pushing the air in, one of the two.
I would assume that's a return, so that's probably sucking the air out.
Yep.
These down here are probably
blowing back
blowing
into
the air up.
Okay.
So
So heat and AC vent.
Yep. It's a furnace downstairs, so it's all just air that's close to the network.
So I like this here. This is the front of the house. This huge window. One is, again, it comes with the shades, which is great from a privacy perspective. But you've also got this tree here, which is just it gives you the feeling of a larger room.
Yep.
And nature and all that stuff. But it also gives you the privacy of being behind all that stuff. So privacy is one thing to look at, right?
Very pretty tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love this tree.
I do. I'm a big tree guy.
Okay, he's a big tree guy. All right, and then we have, this is something that...
Super convenient.
Yeah, and I feel like this is on sometimes people's, like, must-have list, which is, like, first floor laundry. You want to...
I see it all the time.
Okay. And not that you need it. Most places have it in their basement, but this is a very convenient thing to have.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. I like it. What kind of dryer you have? Is it gas? Is it electric? Looks like it's the bigger plug back there. So the dryer there's gas here that heats.
Correct.
There's gas obviously for the fireplace, but the actual dryer is electric. Okay. Awesome.
Storage.
Okay. All right, and we're coming into the primary here. Towards the back of the house. Again, big windows, under the shade. These shades are expensive, so this is definitely something to consider while you're buying a house. And I like there's a lot of separation behind the house between whatever's back there, the whole muted area. So yeah, the separation is really, really nice. And then this is another one that I feel like is on people's non-negotiable a lot of times.
Okay. And it's a full bath, not a half bath, which I see a lot.
Yeah. And the other thing to consider is the size of the primary. Like, do you want a king? Do you want a queen? This one appears, is this a queen maybe? Appears maybe to be a queen, I'd say. Yeah, so, but clearly there's plenty of room. And there's a ton of room this way and a ton of room that way. This could no problem fit a king. And in the bathroom, the other thing is that this is a walk-in shower, right?
It's super bright.
Yeah, walk-in shower is nice. Maybe people who are getting older, they want to have a walk-in shower like this. And it's got the little benches and stuff for like, you know,
taking a break while
if you want to shave your legs or something like that.
You're just need
taking a break. But yeah, the benches is actually a nice thing to look at. And again, the fan is on it. So okay, let's go into the basement. Show us around down there. Tell us what's down there as we get down there. All right, so I mean, we've got finished space here. So it looks like finished, and they've separated the finished from the non-finished with this is actually just a big closet, like a cedar-lined closet. Again, more storage.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to have space. And again, more storage underneath the stairs. The other thing I think to look at too is like when you're down here is like access to stuff. Like I like this and that. You can access all the plumbing and all that. It's behind closed doors, so you're not seeing it.
And all the drop ceilings.
Yeah.
The contractors, electrician, plumber, to open anything up.
Yeah.
If there's a leak or anything.
I mean, that's important. You have a small leak. That small leak could be super easy to fix, but if you can't access it, you guys cut through. Now all of a sudden you're making a huge mess up there.
Absolutely. So the drop ceiling is very, very beneficial and easy to work with.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is nice in here. I like this. There's a lot of space. There's good. This is another thing too, to be able to have a taller ceiling. All right, take us into the mechanical room. I feel like the mechanical is always interesting to me, and I'm sure the realtor, this is probably one of the first places you come when you come downstairs, right?
Absolutely. First thing to point out is, this is obviously unfinished.
Yeah.
But it's just incredibly clean. Right?
Yeah.
So even the unfinished part, look, the floors, they're clean. I mean, you can see everything's open.
Yeah.
Everything's just clean.
I suppose you can tell a lot about a house and how it's maintained by looking at the cleanliness stuff, right? So, I mean, this is their utility room. This is the room that nobody sees, and it looks like this.
Yep.
So that's a good sign, right?
So you have another CO2 electrical over here. Inspector, not an electrician, but newer panel, newer wiring, very clean looking. Indicates to me minimal to no problems.
Okay. All right. And of course, that's not an endorsement of it, but at the end of the day, you're going to get an inspection when you get your house if you choose to do so. So what do we have here? What's this all about?
So this is your water meter. So this is where the water comes in.
Yep.
And then it just runs all the way across each room.
All right, so this is important too. Like I feel like having access to this is nice because there's one valve. If there's any leak in your house, you don't have to figure it out. Just come shut this off.
That's right. Turn it off, and
so that's the main line. I shut this off. And for those who don't know, this is the easy way to remember it. If it's lined up like this, that means the water can flow through. If it's turned to the side, I'm not going to turn it, but if it's turned to the side, that means that's closed.
Correct. And then your natural gas meter outside.
Probably outside. Okay. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see anything in here either. So probably somewhere around there. Okay. All right. Cool. Whoa. We have a steel carrying beam, and then above that, these manufactured beams here, that's like super strong stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's like the upgraded stuff. I had somebody once show me on a new construction. They were like, "Why are these things made of plywood? That's cheap." And I'm like, "No, that's not cheap. Look it up." And I had to show them online. It was a brand new construction, very reputable builder, but that's actually usually an upgrade. It shows a higher quality of construction. All right, and then we've got our mechanicals are what? We've got
water heater.
Okay. This here, what's this called? Do you know?
Expansion tank.
Expansion tanks. All right. That actually helps regulate. I don't know what the heck regulates. Talk to an HVAC guy. And then we have heat
and
listen all in here. Okay.
All brand new as well.
Okay. All right. What's this thing I'm looking at on the side here? Do you know? This is a dehumidifier. The condensation created from the AC is going into there.
And it's pumped out.
And it's getting pumped out.
Correct.
And we've got gas lines here. Again, master shut-off switches, all that stuff you can kind of identify. And again, this is stuff that your inspector's going to point out to you, but as you're showing houses, I'm sure you're pointing out some of these things to people so then they have an idea of what's going on before. So anything obvious. Awesome. I appreciate you having us here, man.
All right, so that's it. Thanks for walking through me, Brad.
I appreciate you having me. Awesome. On to the next one.
Do it. Bye.